You?
Hey,
What's going on,
here
everybody?
we are. We got Rockin, Robbie. We got John's back. Who knows when he's going to take off on vacation again?
Tomorrow I go. No, I don't.
We got Dave in the house. What's up, Dave? We got Marcus, Ronald, JD. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining us, as always.
Everybody checking in. We have some cool stuff tonight, hopefully.
We do have some cool stuff tonight. All right, so just to get it right out of the way, Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles. Cover price of $3.99 or higher, so suggested retail of $40 or more. And as always, we have it for $5.
It's the only way to get books cheaper than me.
Yeah, it's about the only way. Actually, I think you're at $0. Okay, you haven't paid that John surcharge for months now. It's starting to back up a little bit. So Rockin' Robbie, buddy. Hopefully, our buddy John Spilios joins us.
Contest winner?
No, he's a huge Tampa Bay Bucks fan. So he was rubbing it in our faces, me and Robbie, a little bit last week. So only difference is now he's sad 1 week later.
Yeah, but if Brady doesn't win, it doesn't really count. It's just sort of all, like what's the point? You can shut the TV off.
I would have lost all my money. I totally was. I was betting on Brady. I was betting on Aaron Rodgers. I would have lost my shirt.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead.
It's a wild weekend in the NFL
right?
playoff picture. That game last night, I was live while the Chiefs-Rams game was going on, but people were giving me updates. And then when I went back and looked at it, it's like, why did they not just squib kick at the very end to try to run the clock down there? Like he hits it through the end zone.
Like, what were you doing?
But you do know Patrick Mahomes did in 13 seconds what Dak couldn't do in 14. I'm just saying.
Hey, man, I said it last night on the stream when they were letting me know what's going on. I was like, well, what he shouldn't do is a quarterback draw as time expires.
I don't know anything about football, but I want to throw something out there real quick. A friend of mine flew to Vegas to bet on the games, and I put $10 on 3 underdogs and won $7.50. So
Nice.
I'm excited.
Oh, man.
Dinner's
on Nick. And,
So we're going to McDonald's.
We're going to McDonald's.
I don't even think you can get anything at McDonald's for $7.50.
Don't they have a dollar menu anymore?
They do, but things aren't $1.
Oh,
They do. It's called the dollar menu, and then everything
But,
is
yeah,
like
it's not $1.
$1.30.
it's like going to the dollar store.
Oh man!
So I
Oh,
shouldn't
my
be too
God.
excited about winning $7.50.
Well, you can go to McDonald's by yourself with $7.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so I am paying for McDonald's. It's just for me now.
Exactly. Don't get the double quarter pounder though. That's more than
I'm
$7.50.
so psyched about this book. Nick just brought it over. I don't know what we were going to do first, but you can kind
Go
of
ahead,
cue
do it.
up that needle off the record.
Do it. 62 lefty in the house. Marcus in the house. What's going on, fellas? All right, go ahead.
I
start off with it.
I love these things in a way that's probably unnatural and unhealthy. However, I don't know. Do we even have to?
Well, there you go. That's
know,
the way
do
to
we-
sell it, John.
No, it's the truth. These are virgin metal covers. Lucio Perillo and Perella. Do we have this image, or should I hold this up?
We do not have that image.
I'm going to hold
So
this
you're
up.
gonna have to hold that up. You're gonna have to do your Vanna White thing.
I am happy to do this.
I literally, I
It's
know
so-
it's kind of goofy, but when we ship these out, we actually have to put a little tag on there that says, "Be careful, do not cut yourself." Kind of like coffee is hot, kind of thing.
I'm trying to see if there's a way for people to see this. That's how cool this thing is.
But it is seriously, it is a real pain in the butt to get back in a bag too, because the corners, because it is metal, the corners are sharp. So it kind of sticks. That's right, Dave. It is a Lucio Perillo cover. And it is a full front cover, metal front cover. I mean, they are super cool though. I got to tell you. But yeah, be careful when handling
We're
this.
going to do a Dave special. First of all,
There goes John's phone.
I don't care
better
about
the phone than the metal cover.
Yeah, I was going to say at this point, I don't care about the phone. This thing is
So,
so
we're going to
cool.
do a Dave special. All right, a DC special.
Is this working?
These are virgins. They're normally $200. Today we'll do them each for $75. They have not been released through all retailers yet. We have not offered them. So outside of Bueller Show on Friday, this is the first place you can get them.
I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm trying to do the thing with phone.
Yeah, you can sort of see the reflection there.
This
Brandon,
thing is
what's up,
so
buddy?
cool.
I'm going to have to look. We were slammed with a couple projects, so I may have gotten it, but I will definitely take a look for it first thing. All right, buddy. And if you want to resend it, feel free. Rex.wang@dynamite.com.
Put on Slack, so they
Sure.
That
Yeah.
might just.
Yeah.
Give me the
That'd be
other one
awesome.
too.
Thank you, Amy.
Spoiler alert. There's going to be one a little bit later too.
Thank you. Which one did you show? Anyway, which was the first one?
Vampirella.
So Vampirella number 25, Lucio Purio, virgin metal cover. And you can see the reflection. Suggested people are going to be out there at $200. And tonight only, we have one of each. One is Vampy number 25. The other one is Hell Sonia number 1. And we will have it for 100. But we only have one of each.
These are so cool. I mean, this is not hyped. I cannot tell you how neat these things look. Back in the 90s, you kind of had some chromium covers and some stuff like that. This is like a million times better. And I love that stuff. I mean, I'll freely admit, I went broke in the 90s buying stuff that was laser etched, diamond cut, chromium 3D, whatever. You know what I mean? Like metallic paint. I remember there was a variant of Supreme from Image Comics, and apparently it was painted with it was printed with a paint that had like meteorite dust or something. I spent the money for all that stuff. This thing is so cool. $200 is probably I bet $200 is a low estimate. I'm pretty sure by summertime, this thing will be closer to $300. We have one each. You can get them tonight at $75. What we're working on right now is getting pictures taken and images shot over so you guys can get a better look at these things. I mean, if you've watched this show, if you've read Dynamite comics, Lucio Perillo was sort of, in that sort of Mount Rushmore of Dynamite artists. And the guy is really sort of like outdone himself here. These things are so cool.
Hey, Brandon, I did see your chat. I will look into that first thing tomorrow morning, I promise. Figure out what happened there. Thank you, Amy. So we've got these two. So John showed the Vampirella. Okay, so we'll come back to that because Amy took the pictures.
Yeah, they kind of need time, I guess, to upload them or format them or whatever. But
right.
They're both really, really cool. And you guys should absolutely not be sleeping on Hell Sonia. That book is so neat.
All right. You know what? Let's get a best offer out of the way.
Okay, cool. What do we have?
All right. So we have Countdown to Infinite Crisis #1, signed by Michael Baer. And it's going to be one of our best offer books starting at 10.
Oh, this is a Jim Lee cover.
Yep, Jim Lee cover. I like that cover, actually. It's pretty cool.
It's a very cool cover.
I love this issue.
Available.
Love this issue. This is when I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you first.
I was just going to say, this is when Max Lord kills Blue Beetle. It was a big moment, and it kind of set all those events into motion that led to Infinite Crisis. But that was a big, shocking moment at the time.
Yeah.
Now, spoilers, Blue Beetle came back. So he's okay now.
Yeah, he says Blue Beetle gets killed, and then, spoilers. Dude, you did that backwards.
So, Countdown to Infinite Crisis, suggested retail $29.99. And again, it is one of our best offer books. If you're new to the show, we have two types of claims. We have buy it now claims, where we're going to give you a price, and first person to claim it in the chats. Always claim whatever you're interested in the chats. We'll walk away with it. And then we have best offer of the night. And that means that the best offer at $7.55 this evening will end up winning that particular book or statue, whatever it may be. So those are the two types. And at certain points through the show, JD will throw up the link. It is our submission form. Please make sure that you fill that out if you claim something on the show. Give us your real name, shipping address. Your real name and your screen name don't match. And then we get that invoice out to you right away. Ronald says, okay, I was going to read that comic book and Robbie ruined it for me. Thanks, dude.
Well, it came out like 2000. It came out like 2005 or something.
Dude, it'd be like,
I don't.
The Ron doesn't read the books. He just enjoys the art. So
well, I'm pretty sure artwork wise, you mentioned Jim Lee, but I think this is Alex Ross painting over Jim Lee. I think, if I remember correctly.
I actually think that's exactly what it is, because it has that sort of gallery look to it, for lack of a better term.
Right.
It's not just pencils and ink or whatever. It's what I really love about this is, for me, the versions of the characters that I like, sort of like that maybe Silver Bronze Age version, those are the versions that they kind of went with when Jim Lee did this cover.
Right.
Very, very cool. Particularly Green Lantern in the corner. They've done like a million different things with Green Lantern. And I was, the Hal Jordan version. And I was like, please, I don't care what you do with any other Green Lantern. Just leave him. give his green boots and his white gloves and let him do his thing.
All right, you know what? Let's go to the statue, which is a best offer item. Right off the top, giving everybody more than enough time. So tonight
we
have
actually had people say that, like we, put that stuff first because they don't have enough time.
Right. So tonight we have the Jose Gonzalez Vampirella 50th anniversary black and white collector statue. Suggested retail of $299.99. It's going to be a best offer item starting at $50. So I know we have a lot of fans of
statues. Like the seminal image of Vampirella, right? You guys won't be able to see this, but here at Dynamite, I'm literally looking at a standee of that image, and that's sort of like the, I think when Harris took over from Warren, they sort of like reissued that cover again. A whole bunch of people have kind of taken passes at that cover. You go to a con and I see 20, 30 different versions of this cover all the time. This is the, every character sort of has their, what I call etched in stone moment, artistically. And this is sort of Vampirella's, everything from, the eyeshadow to the bat. I mean,
Amy, could you look up the dimensions for us on the statue?
I like the gold on it, how it's black and white, but the gold is still there,
yes.
And it pops. It's really cool because normally you see with her, especially like red, accents.
Right, and this
really
is actually
works.
the AP edition as well, so artist proof as well.
I love the black and white versions, and I know they're not for everybody, but I just think the black and white versions of the statues are so cool. I've got Betty Page at home, and particularly because so many Betty images
are black and white.
White. This one is it's absolutely perfect.
So, Ron, I know Amy's looking up the dimensions, so we'll have that for you in a couple minutes. Let me see here. What do we want to do next, you guys think? Should we do a sketch cover art?
Let's do one.
All right, let's do one. Yeah. All right, so we have Fantastic Four #1 blank variant signed and sketch cover art by Ken Hazer. Mr. Fantastic out there with his elongated neck. Suggested retail of $89.99, and tonight we have it for $50. All right, so the statue is just over 12 inches high. Do you know how wide the base is?
Doesn't say on here.
Okay. And Stevie B, classic pose. What will you be offering next? Michelangelo's David. Go ahead, Amy.
In black and white, though.
3.75 inch.
Okay, so base is 3 3/4 inch. All right, and 12 inches high. So those are the dimensions of the Jose Gonzalez Vampirella 50th anniversary black and white AP collector statue. Suggested retail $29.99 and currently are one of our best offer items at $50. So there you go. So I'm curious how many people lost money over the weekend on football, man. That must have been brutal. The over and under was brutal.
People losing money on the Titans. They losing money on the Packers, on the Bucks. Yeah.
That was ugly, dude. That was some ugly
people
stuff.
bidding on stuff with IOUs, and you'll know how bad weekend it was. I will gladly tell you tomorrow for Silver Surfer Black #1 today.
I can't get the Gunslinger Spawn because I need a plane ticket home from Vegas. Oh man.
Speaking of which, I just mentioned this actually because it caught my eye. This thing is too cool. We've had this on here before, and I absolutely love this book. It's signed by Donnie Cates. There's only 180 copies of this thing. This is 169 of 180 Silver Signature Series, and this is just really, really sort of, like you're going through your long boxes, and this is a cover that pops up, and you sort of stop and look at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We used to call those back in the day like the stop covers because you're looking, going, looking, wow, and you just kind of stop and look at it.
Right. So Silver Surfer Black #1 signed by Donnie Cates, suggested retail of $69.99. Tonight we have one available for $39.99. And Ron's going to start us off on the stat. You got you, Ron? And Ron is currently in the lead at 50 on the Vampirella statue.
I love Tradsmore's artwork so much. He's the artist on this cover. He's got this weird wonky, kind of like Kirby, but not like Kirby. It's also
I think
It's got some of the like psychedelic Starlin kind of stuff, and it's got elements of all. It's so old school, but it makes something so new, different.
Yeah.
I really love his artwork, and this was a perfect book at Marvel for Trad Moore to do.
So
When you do the Silver Surfer, you've only got like so many directions you can go, right? You've got, I guess, we look at it on like a graph, you've got Kirby here, and you've got what, like probably Mobius over here,
Yeah, right.
and then there's a whole bunch of stuff in the middle. And I think people kind of go one or the other. We'll see. Maybe the middle is like Mike
Buscema?
Allred. And I think this is a great sort of, let's take a little from here, a little from here.
So what's her face from? I'm gonna have to look it up during a break.
What?
The next MCU series, they caught them shooting in London.
Squirrel Girl.
No, I just read it.
Emilia Clarke on Secret
Yes,
Invasion.
Emilia
right?
Clarke.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So that should be interesting. Everybody's still trying to guess what character she's going to be, though.
I'd still rather see JoJo Siwa Squirrel Girl. There's money on the table there.
I'm still of the idea, the speculation that maybe she's the Skrull Queen, who in the comic book series wound up being Spider-Woman. So maybe she's like a Skrull version of Spider-Woman, and then that will be revealed later. But that's Sony, so that's not going to work. But I still think she's like somehow like the leader of the Skrull army or something.
Did you get a chance to watch Peacemaker?
I have not watched Peacemaker yet. No.
Peacemaker, let's be clear. Peacemaker is very entertaining.
There we go.
Peacemaker is very entertaining. And I like John Cena. I would much rather see him in the MCU as the Thing. But
That would be interesting. There's an interesting thought.
I don't know if Peacemaker is like a serious attempt to make like a comic book property into a movie or a show. There's, you can only Deadpool so often. When you Deadpool with Deadpool, it's fine. When you drag too many characters into that lane, like a 9-year-old kid is judo master. I don't know. It's very entertaining, though. I recommend everybody watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one may have legs, man. It may have legs. I mean, Cena's well cast. I think. I mean, even Eagly. Okay. I even like the Eagle.
Cena drags a ton of people. Whether you're in pro wrestling or not into pro wrestling, I don't care. Generally, a lot of comic book fans tend to be into pro wrestling. Cena drags a lot of that audience with him. And I'm not saying the guy can't act, and the guy certainly does a great job as Peacemaker, no doubt about it. But I think there's like a value add there when you get Cena, which is one of the reasons why I'd like to see him as the Thing.
Well, I like Cena. I like Dwayne Johnson. I mean, they've been able to make that leap.
Yeah.
And successfully make that leap into an acting role. Whereas that didn't always happen. I mean, look at Hulk Hogan. He tried real hard, but it was just brutal.
Dwayne Johnson does not know what a bad day is. That guy is literally talented at everything. He can sing. He can play musical instruments. He can act. He can wrestle. He was athletic enough to play for the Miami Hurricanes during their college football heyday. It just seems like, there's nothing that this guy
really
can't
no limit
do.
what the guy.
There's no limit to what this guy can do.
I would agree.
So I tell people all the time when they ask about Black Adam is going to make $1 zillion. I'll tell you now.
Yes. So that's coming out this year. I printed out the list. I think it was when I was talking to Alec, and I maybe it was with Robbie. No, I think it was with Alec. And ended up just going through all the superhero films that were going to premiere in 2022. There's quite a bit of them. Yeah. Dwayne's a pain. Roddy Piper was great in his film. Oh man.
Oh, they live. He was very good in that movie.
That was a pretty bizarre. I remember watching that film. That was pretty bizarre with the glasses and all.
Why?
Yeah, he was okay. I think he was kind of in between a Hulk Hogan and a John Cena / Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, I think he
wasn't quite there. I mean, you could see acting was still kind of a little awkward with him, but he was way better than Hulk Hogan.
Here's the deal: they didn't ask Rod Toombs to be in the movie; they asked Roddy Piper to be in the movie. There's like a big difference. And it's the same with Hulk Hogan. Nobody cared about Terry Bollea being in a movie.
Right.
They wanted him to be Hulk Hogan, and they just called him something else.
Yeah.
That's really hard to pull off. The person who pulls it off is Dwayne Johnson.
Well, JD is apparently not a fan. JD says the thing with The Rock is that he plays himself in every role. Same with the Batista. Cena is actually branching out, doing characters, and really killing it. I don't know.
I disagree with that kind of, because I think that he's given roles in which to play himself. And, people have made careers out of it. Like, Denzel Washington, Jack Nicholson, they play themselves in a lot of their movies, right? But if you look at something like Southland Tales, The Rock's playing a very interesting character there and doing some nuanced things with comedy and some drama. And there have been other roles, but I think for the most part, they want him to just be The Rock.
My biggest issue with that is Batista. Dave Batista has played a lot of different. He's done comedy. He's done action, and he's done like the weird sort of. This is a guy that's taken on roles where, you know what I mean. He plays like a home health aide or a nurse, and he's in like a Hotel Artemis. You know what I mean? These are movies that I just don't think. I don't. Maybe it's me. Plus, he's Drax. I think he doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, he's really good in Army of the Dead. He's got
Army of the Dead.
He gets to stretch in that.
That's right.
I think Dave Batista isn't maybe getting. I understand what JD's saying, and I think a lot of people feel that same way. But I think that is almost like kind of unfair to Dave Batista, the actor. They're not having him out there being the animal, all kind of sweating and spitting and crazy. Yes, in the action scenes, there's no way to hide the fact that this guy's like, 6'2", 280, trained professional, throwing people around or whatever. But Dave Batista, the person, the actor, he's been in a lot of different stuff. And I heard on a podcast, he was talking about wanting to do he wanted to do more horror. He kind of really dug like the whole like zombie milieu.
Right.
And he was like, he wanted to start reading for more horror. And I was like, okay. We had guys like Kane, Glenn Jacobs be, basically himself in a movie.
Well, Dwayne Zapane says Batista was great in Blade Runner. So
he was.
He was. Yeah. Unfortunately, he was just surrounded by a horrible film.
It's hard to sort of. It's.
But yeah, I think that. Hey, Joel, what's going on? I think that maybe he's been kind of typecast a little bit, and the roles that he was getting.
I think all those people are typecast. There's a whole article, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a big dude, but there is a thing about if you are super tall or super muscular or super spherical like me, you get cast into certain roles.
Right.
Like people will give me, like Kevin Smith talked about this. They'll give me the chubby friend role for comic relief all day long. They will never give me the lead because I just don't fit that mold.
Right.
And I think when you look at guys like Batista, they're probably not going to get the lead unless it's a role where that's what's required. Like Cena, like Peacemaker is a superhero, right? He needs to look like that. He needs to look like a huge jacked all-American boy. And I mean, let's be honest, that's Cena.
That's Cena, yeah. I have to say that they've given him some range here because the character is so unusual. The guy's got daddy issues. It's just, it all really works. So he was well cast in that. And I think, I think it's hilarious. Let's see, Dwayne Zapane, unless you're Jack Black or Chris Farley. Jack Black had that period where he was just churning out films.
Jack Black is sort of
School of Rock and
Jack Black played Carl Denham in King Kong. King Kong is probably my favorite. I realize it's been a comic book, but back then it was my favorite like non-comic book thing. I love the original King Kong. Right. It's the first movie I remember seeing like as a child sitting on the couch.
Right.
They let him play Carl Denham. And I remember at the time people were like, oh, that's a disaster. And I'm like, you guys don't know the role of Carl Denham. Carl Denham is supposed to be a soulless carny.
Right.
And Jack Black did a great job in that movie.
Shallow House, School of Rock. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a period where he was making film after film after film. So, all right. So before we go to break,
Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre, yeah, right. That's one of my favorite.
We
My
should do
daughter, those were films I could watch when my daughter was younger. So
Do we want to
watch.
do one more book?
I
We'll
was going to
interrupt
do
the
a
movie
recap,
review to
but
do a comic.
I was going to do a recap. But go ahead, pick one. Your choice.
You know what? This is one of my favorite covers that Dynamite's ever done.
Oh, by the way, somebody bought that Batman '66
Green Hornet.
Green Hornet.
They should. This is Codename Action. This is
Find it.
this is obviously an homage to a Dave Stevens cover of Airboy and Valkyrie. This particular cover I absolutely love, just because I was just starting to get my feet wet into independent comics, right? I sort of a little bit burned out on Marvel and DC, and people
Right.
were like, well, there's a lot more to the comics universe, Marvel and DC. And I was at a store down in Wilmington, Delaware, originally called the Comic Book Shop. And the guy was a huge Dave Stevens fan. And he's showing me like Planet Comics and Eclipse Comics. And I think some of the people who ran Eclipse Comics, they lived just over the border in Pennsylvania, not
Right.
very far away. And that was sort of my introduction into independent comics. So when this cover came out for Codename Action, this was like full circle. Because without Dave Stevens, I never get into the Rocketeer and all those things, which brings me around to, getting Dynamite.
Right.
So for me, this cover has like a lot of I've got a couple copies of this at home.
So
Love this cover.
So Codename Action #1, high-end Johnny Desjardins,
Yeah.
black and white, ultra limited edition cover, suggested retail of 100, and it's going to be one of our best offer books starting at 20. All right, so it's time for us to go to break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stay with us, and then we'll start off the next half hour. We'll do a quick recap for everybody that joined us. Hey, and we're back.
Back
All
with
right,
Robbie.
so we got a price change.
Oh, we do have a price change.
So
This was actually this was a shoot story. That was not sort of just filler for content or whatever. That story I was telling you was true. I love this cover, and I think what we're going to do is codename action number 1. I think we are going to make this, like I said, because this is a very meaningful cover to me. We're going to make this the perfect 10 read for $10.
so it is.
I want to see someone take this home.
So it is a buy it now item.
Yeah.
For 10.
Buy it now for 10.
No longer a best offer item. So code name action number 1, high end Johnny Desjardins, black and white, ultra limited edition cover, suggested retail of 100, and we now have it as a buy it now for 10. And while I'm doing that, let's go through a real quick recap. So we have as always, a Dynamite 10-pack reader set, suggested retail of $40 or higher, and we have it for $5 tonight. Then we had Silver Surfer Black number 1, signed by Donnie Cates, suggested retail of $69.99, and we have one available for $39.99 tonight. Let's see. Countdown to Infinite Crisis number 1, signed by Michael Baer, suggested retail of $29.99. Another one of our best offers starting at $10 tonight. Code name action number 1, we just turned into a buy it now, perfect 10 read for $10. Then we had Fantastic Four number 1, blank variant signed and sketch cover art by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. Tonight we have it for $50. Let's see. Can we please highlight the Dynamite window so we can at least try to see what's on the rack? Yeah, we can do that. Let's
There we
see.
go. Wait.
We could try to move it up a little bit too. I don't know if that helps. Try to get the glare.
There we
Ooh, that's a little bit better.
That's good.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so
Robbie,
Joe
that's
L
not good.
is taking the Silver Surfer. All right,
That's a nice book.
that's a nice pickup there, Joe L. And he is also picking up the codename Action.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you for taking that home.
Yeah, John was going to cry.
I was.
Nobody wants to see John cry.
No,
trust
I
me.
mean I have a couple copies of this at home. It's just very cool, sort of. And one of the reasons I told that story too is, you reach like a saturation point, right? Like people get tired of stuff. At the time I discovered independent comics, like they had killed the Flash in Crisis on Infinite Earths. I was literally telling Nick this on the break. And I kind of grew up of a certain age where you didn't do that. And I was like, man, they're killing Jean Grey. They're killing the Flash. I don't think I want to read these books. Like nobody was going to make it out of the 80s alive. And a local comic store guy down in Wilmington, Delaware, introduced me to independent books. And the first thing I saw was Dave Stevens. That led me into The Rocketeer, which kind of leads me to 2022, where I'm pestering Nick for a Dynamite character with a jetpack. So maybe that didn't work out great for Nick, but that worked out great for me.
So Brandon's asking what did the deceased slab in the back. All right, so that is actually one of
Is this the mega pack?
That is our mega pack of the night. So deceased mega mix set. And well, I'm gonna have to read it off.
You want to take it out?
Yeah, because I have to read off.
It's like whoever buys this, you're getting like 9 books. It looks like.
So all right. So let's see here. So this is it. Okay. It is deceased number 2, not guaranteed CGC 9.8. Deceased Dead Planet number 1, guaranteed CGC 9.8. Then, so the med kit's a little different this time. So then we have a deceased number 1 with the Joker head sketch by Ken Hazer. And
Is that the
and
Joker
deceased-
or is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Robin, actually. I'm sorry. And then Batman, deceased Batman, number 1, also signed and cover art sketch by Ken Hazer.
Man, the Batman cover is so cool.
So you're getting 2 CGCs and 2 commission cover art, all deceased. And let's see here. Okay, and it has a suggested retail of $359.96, and we're doing it tonight for $150. And we have one like that. And if it goes well, people like it, we might switch it up. Usually we do 1 CGC, a couple of signed books. Usually we try to pick gold and silver. Brandon says it looks like Harley. You might be right.
We made that mistake before, didn't we? We
I
thought
think
it
we
was
did,
Robin.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whoever
I
did
think-
that, it's
yeah.
a good pickup. That's Harley. The Batman, I'll tell you what's really cool about a small detail. We talk about Ken Hazer all the time, right? Ken is just an absolute master. I don't think there's a way to really like blow up the image or whatever. But if you look at the Batman cover, and again, you guys, if you've watched the show, you know I'm not like the biggest Batman fan. But not only is this cover super cool, but in the background, there's almost at first you think maybe it's a moon or whatever. You're not sure what's behind him. I'm gonna try to hold this up. I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well. It's almost like a corrupted version of that bat signal is behind him.
You know what? That's the first time I know.
Take a look. I mean, if you look at it, you see there's like a little bit of a bad image. Everything in Deceased is kind of corrupted and ruined. That's sort of like a little bit of like a corrupted bat signal.
Can you pull out the two slabs? pull the whole
Sure.
thing
Just the slab? Sure.
So these are the two slabs that are coming with it. All right. So just see if we can get
That's
that.
a crazy deal for those because the slabs is one's a Matina cover, one's a Momoko cover. So they're two of the hottest cover artists out there right now.
So this is Deceased number 2. And
The other one's Dead Planet, right?
with a U cover. And the other one's Deceased Dead Planet number 1. Okay. Both of them are 9.8s. And yeah, you are correct. The Peach Momoko cover.
Yeah.
So you get the two slabs, both guaranteed 9.8. And
As
the
offensive as I find it, that Superman would be affected by a zombie virus, that cover is so cool. I mean, it is just really sort of.
So $359.96 suggested retail. And we have it for $150, more than 50% off. And let us know if you guys like this configuration or you like the other configuration with the sign books, so on and so forth.
Anybody doesn't like this configuration, they can't watch the show anymore.
The world according to John.
No, but this is like a super crazy deal, though, especially for people that are into slabs. Everybody sort of has their thing, right?
Yes.
This is sort of like for the slab fan, trying to take care of them a little bit.
So, all right, let me see if we have any more best Star. Oh, yes, we do. Okay, so let's see here. So we have Star Wars Rebel Heist #1 Silver Signature Series signed by Matt Kent. And it is suggested retail of $69.99, and it is a best offer book starting at $19.77. So that is also a best offer item of the night.
That cover is almost slightly like a throwback to like the Marvel covers.
Yes.
Like if you look at it, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's sort of like the kind of cover you would see in like, say, late 70s, very early 80s when Marvel was doing Star Wars the first time.
That's an Adam Hughes cover, right?
Let me see.
Where's it?
Where'd it go?
Did we cover it? Yeah, we did. We covered it with the amazing metal. Yeah. Oh wow. You know what? There's only 25 of these signed. This is number 4 too.
Nice.
So Ron says the Flash dies in Crisis on Infinite Earth. I was going to read that this series. Thanks for ruining it for me, Sean.
Oh man, don't tell him about Supergirl.
Right? I know. Oh my God.
You heard about them killing Superman, right? Way back.
Oh no. He's just taking stuff off his pull list now. No Doomsday Superman. No.
Oh my God.
What do you mean Spider-Man has a clone? Womp womp.
All right. So, all right. What do we want to do next, boys? What are you guys thinking?
I think we should do that Wolverine Ken Hazer headshot.
All right. Let's do the Wolverine.
That's dope.
All right. So Wolverine, the best there is, #1.
With a parental advisory.
With a parental advisory. You get that free of charge. With original hand-drawn Wolverine headshots by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. Tonight, it is one of our 5-star at $50 books. So we have one available at this price.
It's nice little number too. It's 7. It's 7 out of 50. It's a nice sort of.
So Ken Hazer only did 50, and this one is number 7 out of 50. Nice. And when I was putting the show together, I if you're a Wolverine fan, this was it. And Ron's going to claim it. You got it, Ron. It's yours, buddy.
Nice.
All right. So that one is gone.
What are y'all's? What's your favorite Wolverine costume? I'm curious. I've always liked that brown and tan one personally.
I like the brown tan one. The very first one where he's facing off with the Hulk. I kind of like that one with the short.
Oh, where he's got the short claws.
Yeah, and the short flare on the helmet
and the whiskers.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
whiskers. I kind of like that one. I guess I was the only one because they obviously changed
They
it.
changed that pretty quick. See, I'm an oddball. My preferred Wolverine is Old Man Logan.
Yeah, that
I just kind of like the way he's sort of like in jeans and a bomber jacket.
was my only.
I'm too old for costumes, man. I'm just going to cut somebody, and that's the way it's going to be.
All right, so there we go. So we have the Vampy. All right, so JD got it. The Vampy number 25, metal virgin cover. Suggested retail. This is just out. Suggested retail of $200. That's what it's going for. And tonight we have one available for $100. And then we also have Hell Sonia number 1, also the virgin metal cover, also suggested retail of $200, and we have one available tonight for $100. Yeah, it's in the plastic bag because we didn't want Amy to like slice her hand trying to get it out of the bag.
Yeah,
I know, right? I mean, these are Lucio Perillo. I mean, I can't say this
Harder to
enough.
get back in.
Yes, they are. You're right.
If Dynamite is going to have a Mount Rushmore of artists, it's Perillo. It'll probably be Joseph Michael Linsner. You can debate some of the others. Hell Sonia is, I mean, both of these are really cool. Hell Sonia just has like a really sort of new energy, and it really captures the whole multiversing of comics now. You know what I mean? Like, we are old enough to remember when you just didn't do that. If Batman's boots didn't look exactly the right blue color, the book didn't ship.
Right.
Now we have a zillion different versions of most of the top characters. Most of them sell. Hell Sonia is going to be something that, we've had Vampyverse, we've had Soniaversal. I've talked to a few creators on social media, some other ideas and stuff they have. Poor Nick will be having to listen this week, pester him to publish everything. Come on, what's 38 books in a week? No, come on, Nick, we can do it.
You're going to have the editorial department looking for
I
you.
know, right? I'll take the
They're going to be
job
hunting
today
for you.
these books. But these are, like I said, they're going to be like $200. I guarantee you by summer, they will be closer to $300 because that's, the warm weather will come, the cons will come, the shows will start, and $200 is not going to cover it.
I mean, if you get these at home, you feel it. I mean, the metal front cover is truly metal. It's not bendable. And as Amy was saying, once you pull it out of the bag, we'll sometimes pull it out for pictures and stuff. Getting it back in the bag is actually very difficult because the sharp corners keep catching the edge of the bag as it's sliding down.
This is one of those things where maybe you should consider 2 bags. I mean, seriously, if you plan on taking this thing out a lot, keep a second bag next to it because they're not the easiest thing in the world. Somebody actually texted me, I was checking my phone a little while ago. They wanted to know about slabbing metal books.
They do them, I think.
And I think they do them, but I would be very much sort of like check. I don't know if there's increased fees or whatever.
Right.
I maybe someone who knows CGC better than us can weigh in here. Robbie, if you kind of have any sort of, anything to add here, I don't know why they wouldn't do it because it's not like a non-standard size or anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not even,
they do non-standard size too.
yeah.
So I can't imagine.
My biggest question is the actual cover like metal cover attached to the book like bound in it, or is it one of those
Yes.
things where
You know what? Let's
Because some people do it where
We're
they
taking one out. We're taking it out.
some people do it where they just get a metal sheet, and they kind of glue it to the
You know
comic
what the
book.
best part is? When Nick wants to know where the fingerprint on this cover came from, I can honestly say, not me.
Yep, it'll be me. My fingerprints all over it.
Don't cut
See?
yourself, Rex. That's the last thing we need. Next week it'd be like Rex blood variant of Hell.
Yeah, no,
Sonia.
that's Nick's job. Nick likes to show people his cuts and stuff. All right, so as you can see, I'm going to kind of hold it like this. Don't put Stevie B's like don't put it in a microwave either. So you can see it's just bound front. And you can really kind of see the reflection of the metal.
That's awesome.
And then the
It was
back
hard
is
to
just
get
normal.
to before.
But yeah, it's bound in there. So It's very cool.
If
all right?
anybody remembers the color
And now it will
from,
take the rest of the show for me to get it back.
I know,
in the
right?
bag.
Bring Amy out here while you're back there putting that in the bag. If anybody
Look at
remembers the metallic vibrancy of colors from chromium covers in the 90s,
Oh yeah.
that's this dialed way up. I don't know if maybe this technique wasn't available in the 90s.
That's probably part of it. I mean, you notice how technology kind of catches up. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at lenticular. Okay,
I mean, it would have been super expensive in the 90s if they did it, right?
Well, back in the day, the lenticulars were sometimes just like about a little card size that they put on the front of the cover.
That's what I was going to say. It was usually a cardstock cover with, the little sort of, what do we call them back then? Prism cards or 3D cards or whatever.
Yeah, prism.
And that was sort of, that was what you got. And I was, like I said, you go through my comics, you'll see everything. You'll see every different version of there's this, there's that. But this is sort of like that next level of that.
Right.
And I got to tell you, these things will be going up in value pretty quickly.
So, all right. You know what I forgot to do in the recap was, let's see, the Jose Gonzalez Vampirella 50th anniversary black and white artist proof collector statue. So suggested retail of $29.99. It is a best offer. As always, our statues are always best offer. And Ron is currently in the lead at $50. So imagine all the variants on all metal covers in the 90s. Dwayne's paint says.
Oh my God. Might have been easier to do the die cut then, because couldn't they just like sheet metal? They just snap
So
it out.
Ron says he has a signed glow in the dark Evil Ernie chromium cover from the 90s.
Nice.
Oh, I know. I got you, man. Those were
Glow in the dark and chromium. That's cool.
Yeah.
they were
Right?
well. I think the first glow in the dark one I remember doing that was really sold like multiple printings was one of the sort of Green Lantern covers.
Okay.
Where Hal Jordan was sort of transitioning to Parallax.
Right.
Yeah.
And, he's got the much more sort of, I thought it was cool. Most people would say evil costume.
Yeah.
Rings on every finger like he should have.
I remember that.
That cover glowed in the dark.
They
and
did
I think people were skeptical.
Yeah, they did the Ghost Rider one.
For a little while.
There was a Ghost Rider one that was cool.
Yep.
From the 90s. And then the first one I remember seeing as a kid was the Daredevil run where he gets that armored 90s extreme costume. But there was this glow in the dark like cover with this like demon on a cityscape or something by Scott McDaniel that looked amazing. I still have that.
We goof on the 90s sometimes because of bad hair and zippers and tiny feet and everything else. But on the flip side, they did some very, very cool stuff in the 90s, man. People forget. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, and you remember it where, you sort of had, they were almost trying to create like a mirror cover for one of the John Bogdanov's Superman covers. And I don't think it turned out exactly the way they wanted to, but I think they wanted it to be sort of like a mirror, almost like for Phantom Zone.
I
remember that.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that maybe wasn't, commonly accepted when it came out. Nostalgia plays a role. I mean, like Robbie, did you do your the movie review over the weekend, or it was over the weekend, or
what, for Beastmaster?
Yes.
Oh, that's tonight, my friend, at 8 p.m. Central Time.
That's tonight. So needless to say that when that movie came out, it was not well received. But it kind of has a nostalgia now, right? I mean, to a certain extent. I mean, you're going to do a review on it for goodness sake. So,
and I loved the revisit. I love that movie so much. I got this this is a really cool, elaborate box set that comes from Vinegar Syndrome. But look at all the art in there and everything. Like,
nice.
This whole thing is beautiful, man.
Did you manage to find a time to fit in Cool Runnings yet, or no?
Not yet.
Cool Runnings.
People are voting. People are wanting us to do it, so we'll probably do it at some point.
The TNT Instant Classic. Cool.
Well, Robbie and I, when I was on Robbie's channel on Friday, we were talking, about the Olympics and what a huge Olympics fan he is, especially Winter Olympics. And we start chatting, and we start talking about the John Candy Cool Runnings movie, and I'm telling him, like, you need to do a review on that one, right? So all of a sudden he was thinking about it. It's like, and you're a huge Winter Olympics fan, so that's like perfect timing, man.
Yeah, I know. We got to figure it out. So, but I think
we're after about 17 beers,
right? Yeah. So JD says 12-year-old me was glued to the Tanya Roberts scenes back in the days it was on HBO. That's
I
true.
bet.
It was.
I bet.
And you know, I remember when I first got HBO, that was it. That was just cable, and you know, when cable first started.
I'm old enough to remember when they called it home box.
That's right.
Remember that they called it home box, and you sort of had like a separate gizmo for it. I mean, technology is junk, man. Like Homebox 1980, 1981, there was actually a physical box.
Well, yeah, of course it was. Well, we all got it because you wanted to get the local channels clear.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why everybody went out and got it. And you only had one pay channel, and that was pretty much HBO.
There's in this area, there was Prism, there was
Yeah, then there was Prism, yeah.
Do
And
you
then
remember
obviously
Disney was
Cinemax as well.
Disney was a premium channel at first, I think. I remember because certain friends had it and we didn't.
So Ron says Jamaica has a bobsled team in this year's Olympics.
Oh yeah. You know they're going to throw it back.
Yeah, now you got to review the movie.
It might be the 30th anniversary of that movie. Who knows?
Nice.
You know,
1993.
Did we talk about that guy from England, the ski jumper? What was his name? They even made a movie about him.
Yeah, the Eagle.
Yeah.
The
Or whatever
Eagle,
it was.
yeah.
I can't remember his name. Yeah.
With the big thick glasses and stuff. I mean, you sometimes have these like
the glasses made him
Jamaica.
aerodynamic.
Well, dude, he was so bad. I mean, we were just hoping. You know, you'd watch him compete, and you're just hoping he didn't fall down.
Don't hurt yourself, my friend. I know it's the Olympics, but don't hurt yourself.
I mean, the form was bad. Everything was bad.
And we all remember the Nancy Kerrigan, you know, Tanya Harding
Oh,
stuff
of
too,
course.
right?
I mean, are you kidding?
That's
I
when
mean,
the Olympics became pro wrestling.
That's right, Sheldon. Eddie the Eagle. That's it. Yes, that was just.
That was the Olympics became pro wrestling.
My
man.
mom used to love figure skating, and I couldn't stand it. Right. Then that happened, and I'm like glued to my TV, like, yeah, now I can watch some figure skating. All right. I didn't realize it was like this.
True story. My mom loves figure skating. After that moment, she never watched figure skating again.
Really?
She loved it her entire life. She used to skate when she was a kid. She loved it. She wanted Tanya Harding like arrested, thrown in jail, the jail buried underground, and the key thrown away. And, you know, obviously none of that really happened. And my mom was just like, I am done with figure skating. And I'm like, you know what? Everybody goes through this. Wait a few months. There'll be some figure skating. Nope. Never watched it again.
Wow.
And I was shocked. I'm like, why are you denying yourself something you like? She just hold up her hand. I'm finished with figure skating. I'm like, all right. You know what? But I always remember that Nancy Kerrigan thing is like, you know, Tanya Harding. She took out Nancy Kerrigan's leg and she freed up the TV for me to watch other stuff.
It was crazy when that happened because nobody knew it was her. Remember? It was.
I think people had a fairly good impression right
but
away.
when the news
Well, she like
came
paid
out,
somebody to do it, right? Or something like that. Yeah.
Especially if you went to WWE, you knew exactly what was going on.
You know, but for us, as the news was coming out, you heard, somebody attacks Nancy Kerrigan, and yeah, you know, and came up from behind and hit her in the shin or whatever, and then each day it kept coming out, you know, oh, we think Tanya Harding's involved, and what was her husband's name, Galooly or something like that.
Jeff Galooly.
Yes.
It was. I hate to say it. It was like some fat Tanya Harding mark that followed her around or something. It was terrible.
And Dwayne's a pain. Nancy crying, "Why me? Why me?" I remember that too.
Yeah. The face.
Oh,
He made fun of
my
that on Saturday Night
gosh.
Live, didn't they?
Oh yeah. Saturday Night Live. SNL went nuts on that one. I mean, it was just such an odd thing to happen in that sport.
Well, again, like I said, you know, football or something, you would be like, or even baseball, guys charge the mound. Figure skating, really? You know what we should do? We should do this book because somebody mentioned.
Wait a minute.
Evil Ernie.
Well, Ron actually had a request, so he wanted to see Strange Adventures. Let me make sure. It was her husband that did it, Jeff Galooly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Strange Adventures. Okay, number 1, signed by Tom King. Suggested retail of $69.99. We have one available tonight for $39.99.
There's only 70 copies of this. Another nice low number. This is number 3 of 70. And this is kind of, you know, I kind of got my wish in a weird way. I love Adam Strange. And I wanted them to do stuff with Adam Strange. And then they did this book, and I was like, oh, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, I was really liking it up until the end. I did not like the ending of this book, but I was liking it until then.
Well, did we think they're ever going to make a movie?
With Adam Strange?
I think that would
Well, he's in a version of Adam Strange is in World of Krypton,
right.
or just is it World of Krypton or Krypton? I forget what they call it.
It was just called Krypton, I
I think
think.
it's just called Krypton. I'm not particularly big fan of that either. Just like Gotham, I'm like, look, people don't want to see. You know what I mean? When people are eating a hot dog, they're eating a hot dog for the hot dog, not for the bun. And when you do stuff like Gotham without
You still got
Batman,
to put it on the good bun.
is it?
So Ron is saying Nancy is rich and doing well, and Tanya is I think working at a dollar store somewhere.
Like celebrity boxing. Yeah, I saw her celebrity boxing or something.
Oh, I remember that. That was a
That's-
few years back, though.
That's
remember
that's like a cry for help.
That was,
Yes.
that was bad. Yeah, well, I mean, that kind of thing. It's just, once it came out.
It also became, I remember it was a real culture split in figure skating too, right? Because, figure skating was generally a hobby or pursuit of people who, they had more money. You were able to have a skating coach and all this other stuff. My understanding was Tanya Harding literally came from a trailer park. And she did not have that sort of cultural connect. And I remember they sort of ripped open figure skating at that, she's white trash. The other one is stuck up. She's not skinny enough. She's too. I remember that was partly I understand why my mom was disgusted. My mom was one of those people that liked everything swept under the rug. Whatever, I'm going to pretend I don't see it.
Didn't happen.
And when they spilled the guts on figure skating like that,
She just didn't.
I don't
for her. All right, so
it's real to her, damn it.
So Brandon says you have to watch the movie. All right, so we are going to our second break now, and stay with us. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
We are back.
We are, and man, did we drift.
We did drift.
Talking about Tanya Harding, my gosh.
One person left watching is having a great time.
That's ancient history. Well,
It
Ron
is
is very knowledgeable about that whole period of time. Actually, if you've seen Ron is a
Figure
wealth of
skating,
knowledge.
Mark, man.
He's a wealth of knowledge about that whole episode. All right,
The
so
Lake Placid shirt he's all excited. You know what we should do though, because
what? What do you
somebody
wanna do?
just mentioned nobody cares about a recap. Nobody cares about that.
I care, John. Go ahead.
Somebody mentioned Evil Ernie from the
Mhm.
good old days. And, we obviously,
That was Ron. I think.
that was Ron. Chaos was sort of, dug their feet in the ground with like over the top horror, and it caught on. And it caught on to the point where, you fast forward 2013, 14, I don't know exactly when Nick sort of acquired Chaos, pumped new life into the franchise, managed to incorporate, sort of blend the characters together. This is Ken Hazer, hack slash. This is kind of, I think, one of the earlier sort of, I guess they're crossovers technically. Hack slash versus Chaos #1, the kind of Dynamite universe and, the Chaos universe sort of coming together. Ken Hazer, great black and white cover with the appropriate blood spatter, because there's just no way with hack and slash and Chaos there's not going to be blood spatter somewhere.
And we talk about these cover sketch art pieces, and everyone's a little different. And I noticed when I was picking this out, I picked this one. Not that there were two left, and the other one was bloodier. So there's always something a little bit different. You just, even if he makes the angle, the head sketch somewhat similar or somewhat the same, there's always something unique. The one with Thor, Mjolnir. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had different versions of that. I actually talked to Ken a little bit sometimes on Instagram. He said he looks for those things when he does these characters. He'll look for stripes or flame, or even if it's not as specific as something like Thor's hammer, right? He'll look for a way to sort of, we had Punchline where her hair was dyed.
Oh, John Spilios in the house. He is claiming hack slash.
Nice. That's
all right. Good pickup, John.
Cool.
And John, we feel bad for you, buddy. Now this week you're sad, just like me and Robbie. I believe John Spilios, you are the Bucks fan, if I remember correctly. So now
That's
you feel
why he
bad.
bought this to make himself feel better.
Yeah, make himself feel better.
Unfortunately, he lost a ton of money, so this has to be a 33 easy payment. So that is a really nice pickup.
That is a good pickup, though, John.
And I'll tell you
hopefully
right
it
now,
makes you feel a little better.
There's been some very cool stuff, but absolutely, Evil Ernie is one of those things I would love to see Amazon Prime do animated. I'd be super happy with that. Kind of like an after midnight sort of, adult for. An Evil Ernie cartoon is almost the kind of thing that would be on MTV like in the 90s.
Oh,
when
man,
you're like Aeon Flux. People forget.
Oh, yeah.
MTV After Dark, there was just, MTV started as videos. They drifted away from that independent, different programming. But there was that period where MTV After Dark had some amazing sort of cartoons and stuff like that. And I would love to see an Evil Ernie cartoon done in that style.
Yeah, didn't they call them like MTV Oddities or something like that?
Yeah,
they did the Max, and they did Aeon Flux and the Head, and really cool stuff.
Liquid something they did. I can't think of the name of it.
Liquid Television, I think, was a kind of a part of some of that too, right? And then that morphed into that, and then The Simpsons come from Liquid Television, I think. And anyway, really cool stuff, really fun. That's how I got into the Max. That's introduced me to Sam Keith's work. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Ron suggests we show John the Mega Pack. I assume he's talking about John Spilios. Since you're sitting right next to me, you already seen it.
I was gonna say
so we will do that real quick. Deceased Mega Mix set. Actually, because we didn't put them in our notes, I got to read them off one at a time again.
Oh God!
Thank you, sir.
I have to start working out if we get these mega packs any bigger. This is a slightly different mega pack. Rex talked about this a little bit before. Changed it up a little bit. And I personally, if I was a slab person, I would actually prefer this version.
Oh, Ron. Man, Ron's a wealth of knowledge tonight. The Simpsons came from the Tracy Ullman show. That's right.
That's absolutely right.
That's
a great drop in, Ron. That's
all right. So this mega kit will include Deceased Dead Planet #1, suggests CGC graded 9.8.
It's a Peach Momoko cover, right?
Peach Momoko cover. Deceased #2, CGC graded 9.8 with a U cover. And then we have 2 remarks in this kit. Okay, John, I'll stop talking. John just claimed it.
Yeah, I'm really
you got
glad.
it, buddy.
This thing is so sort of loaded.
It is a suggested $359.96
there.
retail. It is $150 tonight, so less than $50. Well played, JD. That was smacking her in the leg.
Nice.
Well, Ron's the expert, apparently. Did you write the book, I, Tanya? Like,
He may have. I'm gonna have to go back and look now.
I just have an idea for a variant. Red Tanya.
Ooh,
Oh, Nick! Somebody get Nick on the phone.
boom, boom. Red Tanya, that'll be a good one. Alternate universe.
That sound you hear is Nick's off the store slamming. Get out of here.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we're doing a recap. I don't care what John says. So real quick, we did Dynamite 10-pack like we always do. $40 retail or higher. We've got it for $5. 10 random Dynamite titles. Silver's, that was claimed by Joel. Sorry. All right, we had Strange Adventures #1 signed by Tom King, suggested retail of $69.99. We have it for $39.99 tonight. Then we had Countdown to Infinite Crisis #1 signed by Michael Bayer. Suggested retail $29.99. It is a best offer book starting at $10. Then we had Star Wars Rebel Heist #1 Silver Signature Series signed by Matt Kind. Suggested retail of $69.99. That is a best offer book starting at $19.77. What's JD saying here? Dynamite announces series of Tanya Harding themed covers. Let's see. Codename Action was picked up by John L. Hack Slash was picked up by John Spilios. Let's see. That's not John L. That's Joe L. Sorry. My bad.
Start turning some of these around, or maybe pulling these off a little bit, so we have enough.
Still available is Fantastic Four #1 blank variant signed and sketch cover art by Ken Hazer with Mr. Fantastic on the cover. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have it as one of our 5-star at $50 books. The Wolverine one was picked up by Ron, and then Jose Gonzalez Vampirella 50th anniversary black and white artist proof collector statue. Suggested retail of $299.99. Best offer item starting at $50, and Ron is currently in the lead at $50. And then our buddy John Spilios picked up the Deceased Mega Mix set. And I think, and then we had the Vampy #25 Virgin Metal cover. Suggested retail of $200. We have one available for $100 tonight. And Hell Sonia #1 also suggested retail of $200, and we have one available for $100. So let's do, you know what? We've been talking a lot about Peacemaker. So let's do the Suicide Squad King Shark #1 signed by Tim Seeley. And it is a suggested retail of $49.99. And we have it tonight. One available. Buy it now for $19.85.
And for people who are sort of into this, there's Tim signed 90 copies of this. 94. I'm sorry, 94 copies. This one is number 20. You know, there are people that sort of really get into chasing low numbers or specific numbers. And I mean, I've met people who want the number 17 of everything. I don't know what the significance is, but I figure it's good to let people know what the numbers are. Plus, I guess in the collector market, the lower the number, the higher the value. I mean, I guess there's a certain.
So,
and it's signed. It's signed in shark blood red. So there we go.
Thank you, Robbie.
It's a blood red signature series.
So Ron says, what are the dimensions on the statue? So the statue is 12 inches high, 3 3/4 inches wide at the base. And we have one available as a best offer of the night.
This is like the seminal image of Vampirella.
It is
turned into a statue, and I just think we've had a ton of great statues here for Vampirella in particular. But you know, this is sort of like the the granddaddy of them all, so to speak.
So let's see.
Let's start with the House of Slaughter.
So hold on. John is. Let me see here.
He's making a joke.
John Spilios. Are you making a joke, or are you talking about the Hell Sonia #1? Let us know, because if it's a joke, either way, it's pretty funny. He says the Red Tanya claimed. Let's see. Ron, it's an awesome. Yeah, it is an awesome statue. John King or Jen King. listen to me tonight. I'm telling you, I'm really out of it tonight.
You must ask her a question.
Yeah, right.
I have the best.
We got Jen King in the house.
I have
Thanks
the
for
best
joining us,
stuff
Jen.
working Jen's show titles into this.
Now, if I remember correctly, Jen's show Mishmash will be on after our show tonight, I believe. JD, correct me if I'm wrong. John Spilios, Hell Sonia. I wasn't sure if you were making a joke, John, or what, bro.
Wait, inadvertently made a joke that was really funny.
Yeah,
I just thought it was a
I
joke.
was like, oh, wait a minute.
Is he
All
taking this?
John, yeah.
John, I
John
gotta tell you,
Spilios.
this thing is so cool.
That was pretty funny. I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to write it down, because it was a good one. It fit right there. Because who said who put on the chats red Tanya?
Red
or something,
Tanya.
yeah. We got Lars Man in the house. What's going on? And yes, so Jen King's Mishmash show will be right after our show tonight. So definitely tune in. She usually has some great stuff there. Always entertaining to watch her show as well. Let's see. Stevie B says, put the turkey meatloaf into the oven. So time to make a bid. Let's go $60 for the statue.
Fair enough.
Turkey meatloaf. Man, I'm hungry.
Sounds good,
I
actually.
really gotta eat before we do this. All right, so hold on. So we had Stevie B at 60, but then John came right back at 60.
Ron. You asked everybody John to you tonight, Rex.
What's that?
You said John again.
Oh,
It's
Ron. Ron, I'm sorry, dude. Everybody's John. Okay, everybody's John. Everybody's name is John. You're John. You're John.
Is
Okay.
Amy busy?
John, Amy, John.
Is Rex okay, y'all?
John Prime wants to know if you're busy.
Somebody get Rex some turkey meatloaf real quick. Come on.
Somebody get me some turkey meatloaf, man. Somebody bring it to my house, dude, with a beer too. Preferably.
You can make turkey meatloaf not disgusting. You just have to do a lot.
Oh, I love turkey. I
love turkey. I don't like when you put it in a food processor and turn it into Play-Doh. That's not.
No. I mean, like ground turkey type stuff.
Yeah.
No. I used to. All right. So real quick story. Yes. Where is the taco truck, John? Say. Get my ire up. I'll start yelling.
Your employer doesn't want a taco truck here. We have to be selling $10,000.
Nick, John's pushing you under the bus, saying that you're nixing the taco truck. So, Nick, that better not be true. Otherwise, you and I'll have to have a meeting tomorrow.
Nick said the first $10,000 week we have, the taco truck will be right out there. I got the girl's number on my phone.
Dude, if we have a week like that, I better own the taco truck. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Okay. All right. And I
because he said veggie tacos.
No, that can be one of selections if you would like. Okay. But I ain't no veggie taco. What's the point in that?
I like when the taco trucks make their own chorizo.
I've got enough problem. I need animal protein. I'm calling everybody John. Oh, by the way, I did have Spam this weekend.
Nice.
I got really tired. It was really cold out. I didn't feel like going to the grocery store.
I was weak and it was cold.
I had eggs, so I reached into my pantry. Okay, it was a couple months expired, the oldest can. Yeah, no, I looked it up. Spam is good anywhere from 2 to 5 years after the expiration date.
You're fine.
Long shelf life.
How long have you had that can of Spam?
Oh, wow, dude. I stack up. So I try to eat in reverse order, right? So I try to find the oldest can and eat that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you got to have Spam.
Plus, a ton of people stocked up during the pandemic, right? Because remember, like, there's not going to be any food. The stores are going to be empty. So people ran out. They grabbed a ton of
Clearly, John, I bought that can of Spam long before the pandemic.
If it's expired, it's been a while.
Okay, I could go with that, but no, I totally own that.
Spam's from 2003.
COVID was even a thing.
2012. I'll buy some Spam.
Listen, I'm just saying, you never know. Okay, we do live in the Northeast. It does snow, but going back to ground turkey, my daughter didn't like ground turkey. So what I would do is, and it was just me and her. Okay, when she was little. So you get busy, whatever, and I didn't want to eat out all the time. And there was a time when she was really little, when her mom and I first separated, and somebody came to her house and knocked on the door, and she was little. And they rang the doorbell, and she goes, "Pizza!" And I'm like, "Oh my god! I think maybe I got to stop feeding my kid pizza. This is not good." And then anytime the doorbell rang, she would just think it was pizza was coming. And then one time we ran out
That's
of milk.
Pavlov in
Oh,
action,
dude.
man. What did you do?
So then one time we ran out of milk, right? And it was late, and I didn't really feel like going to the grocery store. She's like, so I'm like, honey, we don't have any milk. I said, Dad will go out in the morning. I'll get milk after I drop you off at school. She goes, Dad, just call the pizza man and have him bring the milk. I was like, oh no, I got to cook more at home. So I used to hide it because I was, you get home, it's late, it's whatever, right? So I used to take the ground turkey and hide it in Hamburger Helper.
Okay. That's one. Yeah, that's one way to make it.
Yeah, just kind of hide it. But my favorite was always beef stroganoff. That one, right?
Yeah.
My daughter to this day, I literally, I think she told me that she's 21, so she told me this maybe a couple of years ago. She goes, Dad. I said, oh, you know what? I said, I'm really tired tonight. I said, I'll just go get some Hamburger Helper. She goes, oh God, please, Dad. No. I said, what's the matter? I said, you love Hamburger Helper. She goes, I was 6. I didn't have any choice. Okay. And she goes, I hate beef stroganoff, by the way.
Right before we get back to comics, I'll tell you this. If you really like beef stroganoff, go to Iron Hill Brewery when they have the winter menu and they have a prime rib stroganoff.
Ooh,
and they make the noodles in-house.
Prime rib stroganoff.
Prime rib stroganoff. It's really, really good. I have some friends that cook there, brew there. It's very, very, very
I love stroganoff. My daughter, on the other hand, I guess I fed her too much Hamburger Helper when she was young. So
Red Sonja, like we were a half hour ago. We have
Red Tanya?
Red Tanya. Oh my God. Red Sonja is nice, very nice virgin cover.
Yes, this one's
Stray
nice.
Dogs. Stray Dogs are one of these things that when they first popped out, I was like, this is cool. I don't know if this is going to fly. Everybody loves dogs, particularly stray dogs. And there's variants of stray dogs all over the place. This is this is the Red Sonja. It is just a very cool cover. I really like this cover a lot.
Well, we've been talking about Stray Dogs a lot. Aggressively relaxing. Thanks for joining us, buddy. We appreciate it. And I just want to mention this: our viewers make the show. Everyone
who joins us, we really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, helps us out, helps us reach a larger audience. You can really do us a solid there. For those of you who have, or maybe some people haven't, hit the notification bell so you know when we're getting ready to log in and talk about food and Tanya Harding and 80s movies and occasionally a comic book.
So Lars Man is picking up the Red Sonja cover by Stray Dogs. Yep.
This is so cool.
So you got it, Lars Man. It's yours, buddy. It's just been such a hit. It's a little different than what we normally bring on. We've been trying to mix it up a little bit, but I saw this one in one of our long boxes, and I said, you know what? It's so hot right now. I'm picking it up. Just throw it out there. We do have.
It's a contrast, right? Like, in art, they always talk about juxtaposition, contrast, or whatever. You've got Red Sonja, who, let's be honest, there's a certain amount of sex appeal and a whole lot of slaughter going on in most of her books, right? And then you've got these adorable animated stray dogs. And you would think that's not going to work, but that totally works. Obviously people loved it.
So you never can tell what's going to work and what's not.
There is an upcoming Tony Fleece cover. I think it's for a Vampirella book, or maybe Vampyverse or something. One of them, but it's an homage to the Mummy. Oh my goodness! Like the Mummy movie poster. Like that.
Well, that's right up your alley.
You've sold like 5 of them already, just to me. So
well, that's right up your alley because you're a big horror fan.
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite movies, the Boris Karloff, Carl Freund Mummy.
Dynamite never dies.
Dynamite never dies.
That's what it is. Thank you, Nick.
So let's see. So Joe L is saying that waste of perfectly good prime rib. I guess he's not a Stroganoff fan.
If I remember correctly, one of my friends was one of the culinary managers over at Iron Hill for all the breweries, and they were looking for something to do with prime rib other than just prime rib, right? They did a prime rib cheesesteak. It was really good, but again, it's prime rib, right? They've done a few different things with end cuts, and they decided to do the beef stroganoff. I'm a huge beef stroganoff fan.
I am too.
It kind of pairs well with their beers. I get what he's talking about as a waste of, as somebody who's taken years off his life at the pub in Pennsauken, just eating like Flintstone style ribs. I kind of almost 50% agree with that. But this dish is absolutely delicious.
I have not been to the pub in years. That's a local place here.
It hasn't changed at all. It still looks like
Yep.
it looks like the reception hall where they had the red wedding in Game of Thrones.
It's this huge place and great salad bar.
It's
too.
like the Renaissance fair. It's very
But you go there for steaks.
Very
That's
cool.
pretty much straight up.
giant chunk of meat. Their bone-in pork is really good. The steaks are, the two best places in South Jersey to get steaks are the pub and Chubby's down in Gloucester City.
I've never been to
Steakhouse.
Chubby's.
Oh, you should shoot over there. It's a smaller place, and parking is, maybe you have to park like a block away. So
Right.
obviously don't go in, dead of winter. But
Oh, for good steak, I'll go anywhere.
is another thing we have to talk about.
Which one is that?
House of Slaughter. This is
All
from the
right.
pages of Something is Killing the Children.
Let's do that one.
I do not know for certain if they've already signed some kind of deal to do this as animated or live action. I can't see this not moving forward. This thing is so, I talked about this before, James Tynion IV, a little bit like Donny Cates. Everything he touches just turns to gold. Seems that, it does not have a bad day at the laptop. Everything they do is amazing. If you've read Somebody's Killing the Children or Something's Killing the Children, you kind of know what the House of Slaughter is about a little bit. This is probably, if Something is Killing the Children had any weakness as a book, and I don't think it did, but if you wanted to get nitpicky, the covers aren't always the strongest.
Right.
Story's great, art is great. Covers are sort of, everybody in the comic book business tells you the cover has to be the best part of the book to get it off the shelf. I do not think the covers are the equal to the story. This particular cover is probably better than the stories.
So, House of Slaughter, #1, foil variant, CGC graded, guaranteed, 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. Tonight we have it for $69.99. We have one available at that price.
Nice.
So,
This foil variant is,
I love the return of the foils. Boom's been doing them for every issue of Berserker. They've been doing them for Something is Killing the Children here and there. So fantastic.
So let's see.
This is another property that we were kind of doing clubs a little bit to MTV Oddities or whatever. This is another sort of late night animated horror series. Live action would be fine, but I think if you made this animated, especially if you've read the book and seen the kind of monsters that they fight, they could do really, really well here.
All right. So,
especially if they did it in Samurai Jack style.
Yeah, and if the show blows up and they want to do a spin-off, that's what that is right there. Prequel.
All right, so let's switch to John's favorite character, Batman and the Signal, #1, signed by Scott Schneider. Suggested retail of $39.99. We have one available for $27. As Scott Schneider's signature has become a premium and tough to get. Everybody's signature these days is tough to get.
Everybody's signature is tough to get, but I think some creators make the conscious decision at a certain point. I've done a million cons, I've signed a million books, I love my fans, but my time, and Gail Simone talks about this sometimes. If you follow Gail on Twitter, she's just, there's very little she doesn't discuss about making comics.
Right.
And she talks about that one of the reasons she tries to sign as much as possible, but there's literally only so many hours in a day, right? Between, she has to have a life, family, whatever. Most creators have, pets and kids, spouses, whatever. Amy Chu talks about this a lot too. She tries to have a little bit of a life for herself. She's a big Lego fan. And then you sort of factor in everything you have to do for work. Plus people like Amy Chu, I'm pretty sure she's working over at the Joe Kubert School.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So there's every time she signs something, there's something else not getting done. Right. And I think that we're sort of a little bit in the case now where some people get so popular, right? And let's be honest, we all know how it is. As you get more popular, you become bigger in DC, Marvel, wherever
Sure.
you are, right? So again, that's less time you're creating stuff. You're now a creative director. You're now a, senior double secret editor or something. And there's just like a ton more stuff you have to do.
Right.
And generally the disposable time winds up being sitting on writer's row or artist alley and just signing stuff for people. Scott Snyder, I think, is one of those people that were like, hey, look, I got a lot going on. I got stuff going on for Comixology Original, DC. There's only so many hours in a day.
Right. That you can get anything done. I mean, but beyond that now, then over the last couple of years, then you've thrown in the pandemic and, now, cons aren't really at the capacity that they were prior to COVID. A lot of creators are. Yeah,
they're not on full cylinders with cons.
Yeah,
and I don't know if they're gonna get back there. That's why I tell people too with signatures and our slabs books. There's a lot of moving parts to this stuff, which before the pandemic was complicated but more manageable. Now, how many times has somebody had a doctor's office call and cancel an appointment, or like a painter was going to come over and give you an estimate and they just don't show up.
Yeah.
Things are not nearly.
Or the cable guy.
Yeah, or the cable guy.
I'll be there between 12 and 5.
The roof, or hey, I've got a leak. Oh, well, that sucks to be you. I'll get there when I get there. You probably want to take as many shortcuts as possible. And I think that's why people have honestly sort of connected with shows like this.
All right. So Stevie B is going to go to $70 on the statue because he has to go do the mashed potatoes now during the break. I don't know if he's doing this because he knows I'm hungry. He's just messing with me. It's like, I'm going to turkey meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
Everyone's claim should come with a food thing.
Is there gravy, Stevie B? I mean, you can't have all that without the gravy.
I'm getting ready to tear into this pulled pork burrito, but I'll take this for $20.
Let's see. Lars Man wants to see the Amazing Spider-Man slab. You got it, buddy. And then we'll go to our next break. So we have Amazing Spider-Man number 75, Patrick Gleason webhead variant,
Ooh.
CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have one available for $75. And that's not the best picture I could have taken, so it doesn't quite do it
I gotta
justice.
tell you, though, if you're a Spider-Man fan, that's kind of like a thing you want in your collection.
It is, but it is a very cool cover, Gleason variant cover.
9.8 slab.
And Legacy number 876 issue. Oh, Lars Man is claiming it. All right, buddy.
I'm gonna take this and we're
It
just
is yours, my
this
friend.
This is so cool.
Man, okay,
good pickup
down here. All right, so perfect timing. JD will take us to our last break, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
They say it, and it's true, that everything is getting faster. You're not getting any younger, and time is the single resource that you can never get back or get any more of. So why walk into your local comic shop blind when you can go in laser focused on the best books on the shelf?
Hi everybody, and welcome to Minute to Skim It. Yeah!
Spend 1 hour with Miss Jen and Bean, and they'll give you rapid-fire reviews of all the new comics hitting stores. Spend less time shopping and more time reading.
This is Provenance of Secrets.
This is The Heathens. I read Wolverine number 17.
Minute to Skim It, every Tuesday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
And we're back. I lost John. I don't know where he went. And CVB says there's gravy, but from a jar. That's okay. I can live with that. Just make sure you deliver it to my house while it's still hot. I think Stevie B's in the New York area, so it's a couple hour drive. You can do it, buddy. So, Robbie, any new movies? Anything?
I watched the new Scream movie.
Oh, you did? How was that?
A lot of people are liking it, but I did not.
Did not.
I actively did not like it. I was very disappointed. I had lots of thoughts. I actually reviewed it last night on Dylan's Horror Show, or 2 nights ago on my buddy's show, Dylan's Horror Show. And yeah, a lot of people are liking it, and I'm very puzzled by that because I thought it was not a good continuation, and I don't think it really respected much of the movies that came before, of which I am pretty big fan of, but I don't know. Wasn't quite my jam.
So JD says he's done with the nostalgia trips. There are a lot of remakes lately, I have to admit. Trying to cash in or double dip on a formula that may have worked in the past.
Yeah, and they're trying to do that same thing, kind of like how the Matrix Resurrections was trying to make a meta statement on the requel, right? Where it's like a reboot and a sequel at the same time, and it didn't work. It fell flat, and it just became what it was trying to make a statement on. I don't know.
Right. Well, so JD says he hasn't watched New Matrix. I suggest you watch it. I wasn't overwhelmed by it, but by the same token, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was John is taking up bank robbery. I thought it was it was worth watching.
I know, right? I really enjoyed.
Take the comics, man.
I enjoyed the Matrix because it's old and tired, like I am. Don't look nearly as good as I used to.
I have to admit, the action
life still looks great, though. It's so much of my life.
But it just seems like the action scenes in Resurrections was just not quite as, I don't know, But then they didn't have that the goofy CG stuff, where we all criticize with Reloaded, especially, with the crazy fight scenes and all the Agent Smiths. But
yeah, but it had that whole silly bullet time scene that I thought looked so bad. Like the scene where he's like the dude's explaining the whole villainous plot of the movie and the bullets in slow motion. Oh, I couldn't stand it.
I guess it's me. I love all that stuff.
I had no problem with that. I think the dodging the bullets is a bit neater than him holding out his hands with the force field type thing. But I can see why you would go with that. But I don't know. I mean,
that's all Neo did in that movie. He didn't actually do any kung fu. It felt like he just kind of force pushed things away a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is considerably
in pro
older.
wrestling terms, they decided to put Trinity over and not Neo. I know for me, the whole world is essentially pro wrestling, but the whole world is essentially pro wrestling. They made the decision when they were going to come back to this, they were going to put Trinity over. They put her first and foremost, and I was fine with that. I love that character, but she flew. She did most of the action. Most middle-aged women will tell you middle-aged Neo does exactly what most middle-aged men do. Not a lot, sort of rely on past glories, stumble around, get lucky once or twice, doesn't fly. A lot of that resonated with me. I could see where people that are young and have a life to live, they're like, what am I watching?
So Lars Man goes, he needs the next John Wick. I do too. I really enjoy that series of movies.
I need the next Johnny Mnemonic. Forget John Wick.
You know what? I actually like that film. You should do a review of that one, Robbie.
I own that movie.
I've considered it.
What's that?
I've considered it multiple times. I have a fond memory of it.
It really is better than I think it got credit for, and I really enjoyed it. At first, when Keanu Reeves' career started to take off, all I could see was Bill and Ted. I just, I had a hard time accepting him, even at Point Break.
I see all these characters as that original thing, like as he's going through time. I also see going through different realities. In one reality, he's John Wick, and in another reality, he's Johnny Mnemonic. He's Neo. See, if you there's a weird kind of Venn diagram. If it's comics and pro wrestling, you can justify almost everything. You can find a way to accept almost anything, no matter how bad it is.
The world according to John.
The thing I remember the most about Johnny Mnemonic is that I think that was the first die-cut VHS cover that I remember seeing, but they had like a die cut where the chip was supposed to be in
Yeah.
his forehead.
I don't think I ever owned it, so I didn't know that.
Had a
I worked at
VHS,
video
I had-
stores.
Yeah, I've had a DVD. I had the DVD reissue, and now I have it digital.
I must have watched on HBO or Cinemax or something. One of
I
the
think
cable.
right now it's on Netflix.
Do you know another one from that era that I really like that I think is it's silly. It's not necessarily good, but I like it. Is Virtuosity with Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington. Y'all
Oh,
remember
Sin
that?
610, right?
Oh yeah. I remember that one. I think
He's
I
like
owned
the
that one.
he's like the computer program that comes out or whatnot, right?
Yes,
He's
yes.
like an amalgam of all
Like
the
a
sort of
pre-Matrix sort of thing.
He is like a pre-Matrix thing. Well, I tell people
Yeah.
you can go back to stuff. You go all the way back to Cool World.
Ooh, with
They
what's his
have-
face?
Brad Pitt.
Yep.
They have
Kim Basinger.
always done funky stuff. You can find it. People are like, oh, we're on like a big, like callbacks tonight. Go watch Cool World. And people are like, oh man, I totally forgot about this. I'm like,
We'll send you a list of movies that we think you should review, Robbie. We'll
Of
shoot
course.
you an email.
Of course.
So, Incredible Hulk number 611, signed by Greg Pak. We have, let's see, suggested retail of $69.99. We have one available for $29.99 tonight. All right, so I want to
you
get that
signed
out there.
50 of these.
And
This is
Silver
number
Signature
27.
Series.
This is Silver Signature
It's-
Series.
Lars, man, when it comes to computer-generated characters, it'll take the chick from Weird Science. I'll take that. Weird Science. That was another classic, wasn't it?
That's actually one
Uh,
we're reviewing in February. Is Weird Science.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will definitely be there for that. That was one of my favorite films.
What, Weird Science?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was so just goofy.
It's a great
It
movie.
was on
Well,
every
see,
level.
that's different. The 80s had movies, and this is where people were like, why won't the 80s die? Because we've got stuff like Weird Science. We've got My Science Project. We've got The Breakfast Club. 80s aren't going anywhere.
And right, JD Kelly
LeBrock.
Yep. Who married Steven Seagal, didn't she?
Yeah,
At one point.
she got out of that real quick.
Boy, that guy really is kind of crazy, man. As the years go on, you hear all the crazy stuff.
I'm hoping he's the next villain in Cobra Kai. Because
Steven
they're kinda
Seagal.
cursing
I have
through-
not. I got to catch up on Cobra Kai. That's the thing.
Well, they got their own version with Terry Silver coming back for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thomas Ian Griffin does a great.
That's
does
right.
a
I got to
nice
catch
job.
up. I have not caught up. It's just too much to watch these days. Lars, man, JD, when you get a chance, if you don't mind throwing up the link to Robbie's channel, Lars, man, definitely check it out, man. Robbie's got some great streams, some great content. Does
Robbie
all
puts
kinds
it.
of
We've
stuff.
talked about this before. Robbie contextualizes a lot of what we do.
Yes.
We just throw a ton of stuff out there, the comics, and then that's it. Robbie sort of always fills in these sort of, like the why. Like it's fine for me to say this book is awesome, you should buy it. But what Robbie does in a lot of cases, he tells you why. He puts it into a little bit of.
So Lars, man, is claiming the
Thank
Hulk. Gotcha, Lars, man. It's yours, buddy.
This is so cool.
It is very cool. But yes, I mean, that's one of the things that Robbie does. Always very, very entertaining, and then different things dealing with pop culture. It's a great channel to watch. So when you get a chance, definitely check
We
it
should do a
out.
movie review
Thank you.
show called like 5 Beers In.
Yes,
And like when we open up beer 5, we start doing it.
yes, I like this.
Just check out any of my movie reviews in 2020, and there you go.
Those are 10 beers in.
Those are average ABV is like 9.4,
Yeah.
something like that.
You know what? There's a best offer book here, and I kind of left it off. And now we only.
What is
It
it?
is Battlestar Galactica number 4.
Oh,
High-end Alex Ross Virgin Art Ultra Limited Edition cover, suggested retail of $100, and it is a best offer book at starting at $20.
Great
So
cover.
didn't quite leave everybody enough time, and I
yeah,
apologize.
but somebody still has enough time to get this $100 book at $20.
They can. So right now, I am going to do. You know what? And let's leave that up there for a minute. Okay, and this is to remind everybody that we still have the Vampy number 25. Oh no, we only had one. Vampy number 25 is still available. Metal Virgin cover. It is the retail price is $200, and we have one available for $100 tonight. Let's see. And Lars Mann's going to offer. All right, buddy. Let me get that.
Oh, we
down.
have to do this too. We absolutely have to do this book.
Okay, so Lars Mann is at $20 for Battlestar Galactica. Gotcha, buddy.
Is this a best offer book, or is this just a?
That is a straight up now. That
This
is
is
a
straight
bite
up-
now. Hold
This is really cool. Dark Knight, I kind of lost it in the shuffle. Dark Knight Returns, Silver Signature Series, Frank Miller. He only signed 15 of these. This is number 4. This is Dark Knight Returns, the Golden Child. Initially, I was not the biggest fan of like the continuing or ongoing Dark Knight universe. They really sort of turned that around, and it's the best elements of Elseworlds. You know, I think people sort of a little bit, they forget. Everyone talks about the multiversity now, right? There's, you know, DC's done it, this, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's got it now. Dynamite has it. This goes back to like What If and Elseworlds. And, you know, when you talk about what was the first character that was, you know, multiverse, I'm going to probably have to say Batman. Batman was the first time you saw a character, not so much What If where it was the same character in a different setting, but you literally saw Batman, you know, Gotham by Gaslight.
Right.
You know, Dark Knight Returns. These are things that are part of, at one point, DC was categorizing them as Elseworlds. I don't know if, you know, now maybe they don't even bother to do that at all. But, you know, Kingdom Come. Forget Kingdom Come is 25 years old, I think.
Yeah,
Not long?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Kingdom Come is 94 or 99.
Yeah,
So-
it was like 94, 95, 96, something like that.
Yeah.
In that mid-90s, yeah.
Man, that's crazy. So Dark Knight Returns, Golden Child #1, signed by Frank Miller, Silver Signature Series. Suggested retail of $399.99. Tonight we have one available for $299.99. So
He only signed 15 of these to, you know, sort of.
yes.
Usually I let Robbie put stuff into context, but I didn't realize there were so few of these he signed.
Well, he's a tough signature to begin with. I mean, you know,
Well,
like the
again,
man,
he's one of those characters, almost like we mentioned John Romito, where,
right?
you know, they've kind of had their moment in the sun. They've earned their spot in the Hall of Fame. You know, now I just sort of do these things on my terms. If, you know, if I feel like staying at home and having a second cup of coffee, I'm going to do that. And
Right.
not, you know.
All right. So, you know what? Let's do a recap, boys.
Have we got
and we're gonna-
everything, though, before we
We have, yes.
Okay.
And
Hey,
let's do a
before
recap
we
of-
do that, Rex, do you
What's
want to
that?
go ahead, before we get into that, you want to go ahead and run the contest?
Oh, I totally forgot about the con. See where my head's at today?
Thank God
Okay.
Robbie's here.
I know. No, that's John.
So-
Oh, my God.
You spin the Robbie's wheel of ridiculousness or whatever we're calling it this week. I will grab the prize.
All right. Spinning. And the winner is Chill Out Man. Chill Out Man.
Chill out, man.
Who says, kudos, my fellow Alabamian.
I
Okay.
think Rex just went to get something to eat, but
Yes, he went to go get
Chill
some
out,
turkey
man.
meatloaf.
Gravy.
the meatloaf with gravy.
So, all right, who'd you pull?
Chill Out Man.
Is that the winner? Chill out, man.
No, we want you
Yes.
to relax so we can announce.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
chill
know,
out, man.
You know, I'm busy reading my copy of Red Tanya.
Red Tanya.
Chill Out Man. There you go. Congrats, Station. What did they win, Rex?
Wait, so Chill Out Man is the winner. That's what I think.
Yeah.
John's giving bad advice, dude.
The prize is
Can't
very
count
cool,
on
though.
John.
Today
All right,
is John Ermita's birthday. That's why you're thinking everybody's John, by the way.
Everybody
Yeah.
is John. Today, anyway. So we have a kick-ass cloth card. So this is an actual piece of the costume that he
The
wore
costume. This is
Um,
cool.
in kick-ass. And let me write down Chill Out Man. I should be able to remember that without any problems. Chill Out Man,
Comma, man, exclamation point.
a prize winner. And Robbie, you'll email me his contact.
Yeah, I'll try to get it. He was
All right,
all
cool.
in my chats last night. so-
I'm sure his first name is John.
Yes.
Nice.
So
Speaking of the Matrix, now I'm thinking of the Agent Smith scene. Me.
Yeah,
It's
me,
all
me.
about me.
all right, so I am going to review the best offer books real quick since JD has informed us 8 minutes left, probably more like 7 now. Countdown to Infinite Crisis #1, signed by Michael Baer. Best offer start $10. And with so little time left, probably get 1, maybe 2 claims in before it ends. Star Wars Rebel Heist #1, Silver Signature Series, signed by Matt Kinn. best offer book at $19.77. So we're starting at $19.77. Let's see. Battlestar Galactica high-end Alex Ross Virgin Art Ultra Limited Edition cover. Lars Man is in the lead at $20. Let's see here. Then we had the statue Jose Gonzalez Vampirella 50th anniversary black and white artist proof collector statue. Suggested retail of $299.99, and currently Stevie B is in the lead at $70. So that's, I believe that's where we stand. That's all the best offer ones, right? Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Nope. Pretty sure I got it. So there we are, and we'll do a full review. Dynamite 10-pack reader set, as always, 10 Dynamite titles, random Dynamite titles, $5 for the pack. Let's see. Batman and the Signal #1, signed by Scott Schneider. Suggested retail of $39.99. We have it for $27. And Lars Man is in on the statue at $90.
There we go.
All right. So
Now we're starting to get a little.
Lars Man is at $90. Gotcha, Lars Man. So where did I leave off? Batman and the Signal, okay. And then we had Suicide Squad King Shark #1, signed by Tim Seeley. Suggested retail of $49.99. We have it for $19.85. It is a buy it now item. Countdown to Infinite. Okay, gotcha, buddy. Let's see. $15. Okay, so Ron is offering 15. Gotcha, Ron. All righty. And hey, Adrian Station, buddy. All right, so let's see. Lars Man is okay. So Lars Man's at 9. Got it. All right. So let's see here. Where did I leave off? Do you remember? Suicide Squad King Shark #1, 19. Suggested retail $49.99. We are offering it for $19.85. Then we had Dark Knight Returns Golden Child #1, signed by Frank Miller. We have that available tonight, signed in silver for $299.99. Then we had Strange Adventures #1, signed by Tom King. Suggested retail of $69.99, and we have one available for $39.99.
And I'll throw this out there about the Dark Knight Returns, right? We've already seen that they've done the Dark Knight animated, right?
Right.
They will continue moving on. They've already talked about they will do part 2 and 3. His signature, by the time they get to #3, his signature will be significantly more. What are we offering this for? $299, I think?
Correct.
That will be a fraction of what his signature is worth 5, 6, 7 years from now when DC Animation decides to do Dark Knight Returns, Master Race, or...
And again, it's Frank Miller. I mean, the guy's had a prolific career, not just in comics, obviously, but, as a writer, director, producer. He's firmly, I guess, distinguishing himself in the entertainment business.
Plus, we always just try to throw this out there for people. You want to buy ahead of the wave. It's almost like surfing a little bit. You know what I mean? If you're already seeing the wave, you've missed it. You know what I mean? You probably want to buy these things before, because then the next time we offer it, it's like way more expensive.
Right.
And people are like, why is it more expensive? Well.
So, all right. So the only slab that is left, I believe, is House of Slaughter #1 foil variant.
This is
graded
so
9.8.
nice, man.
And we have one available, the 9.8 for $69.99. All right. And I believe that is the only slab that's left. Yeah.
And it's the only slab that's left. And that shouldn't be left because, man, I tell you, that slab is,
Yeah. And it's the foil variant as well. Yes. I'm sorry. And we also have Vampy #25.
Virgin metal cover.
Metal virgin cover. A retail of $200. And we have one available at $100. And these metal covers are super cool.
Nice.
Without a doubt. So, and I think that takes care of it for the recap. And I'm not sure how much time left, JD, on the best offer books there, buddy.
3 minutes, I think.
Probably. Yeah.
3 minutes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So 3 minutes. Don't forget the time lag. Don't be Dak Prescott and not know how much time's left on the clock.
Yeah, can't let that go.
When you need to spike the ball.
Yep. They still haven't fired Mike McCarthy yet. So
I know, but Jerry Jones seems pretty ticked off. So
yeah.
So he's leaving it open there. He's gonna make McCarthy twist in the wind for a bit before
make him sweat for a while. They're gonna see what happens with Dan, right?
listen, man, he needs to step out of the way. Okay. All right. I'm not saying Mike McCarthy is a great coach or anything, or is great time management, but dude, as an owner, you got to know that, look, what's the one common denominator here?
It's true.
So, all right. Stevie B is coming in at, let's see here, 95 on the statue. Gotcha, buddy.
Statue is so nice.
All right. So that puts Stevie B in the lead on the Jose Gonzalez Vampirella 50th anniversary black and white artist proof collector statue. All right, so we got that there, but yeah, I mean, it's not that I have a high opinion of McCarthy, but ultimately you can't look at the Dallas Cowboys and say it's all McCarthy's fault. I mean, at this point, you guys have had coach after coach after coach, since Jimmy Johnson, hasn't been able to make it work. So
You're right.
It's
Fire the owner.
I wish you could, but
I hate to say it, it's almost slightly reminiscent of Al Davis.
yes.
Everybody loved Al Davis, right? The Raiders reached a peak and they tried. There was different coaches and, different sort of, director of football operations or whatever. And they did have some good years, but I don't think they ever sort of,
after
that,
Madden had retired.
that NFL Films level of,
And it makes you wonder why. I mean, Madden was at the height of his career when he retired from coaching, which obviously was a great decision for him, but it makes you kind of wonder why.
He said in an interview that a lot of it was health related, like the stress of coaching or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
He's sort of,
Yeah, I could see that being a reason. But I mean, I'm sure working for an owner like Al Davis wasn't a picnic either.
It was a ton of pressure. Plus, the guy has a legitimate fear of flying.
And what is up with Al Davis's son? What is with that bowl haircut? You've got more money than God. You can't get a real haircut somewhere?
Somebody said he's worth $25 million. I'm like, price of a good haircut in California? $26 million.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, come on. What is up with that? He looks like Chucky. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. Oh yeah, Lars man, Switzer. Yeah, let's not forget about his greatness.
Oof.
But hey, we're in the NFC least. So
I think the truth of the matter is, and this is like a pop culture reference, but I think what they're looking for now, more so than people who understand the sport they're coaching, is they're all looking for Ted Lasso. They really are. They're looking for someone to connect with their players and motivate and be a positive sort of, I can be great at the press conferences or whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, how about get somebody that knows football or whatever the sport is, right?
You would think.
The Flyers are going through that now.
Oh
They like this guy. They like that guy.
brutal.
I'm begging you to hire someone that knows how to play hockey.
So bad. Oh my gosh. It's brutal to watch the Flyers. To this day, still no Stanley Cup. And
No.
Still going back to the same team. Oh my gosh. But what are you gonna do? That's part of the process, I guess. But all right. So our best offer of the nights have closed.
Nice.
Congratulations to the winners.
Yep. Congrats to everybody that had the best offer. And looks like most everything got picked up tonight. So that's awesome. That's awesome whenever our viewers are able to get good deals on the books. That's kind of what we're doing. See you, Ron. Thank you, buddy, as always. I just want
Thanks everybody for joining us.
Yes,
Ron's
thank you so
too,
much.
We're kind of wrapping up a little bit here.
Yeah, I want to thank all our viewers
Yeah.
for joining us. I mean, we realized that you're taking precious time out of your day to spend it with us, and we do really appreciate
No, I'm
it.
fine. I had nothing else to do.
I wasn't talking to you.
Huh.
But we do appreciate it. The viewers really make the show for us. The chats, the questions. Today we drifted off to Tanya Harding and figure skating. Didn't see that one coming.
The two things that make it for me are the people who join us and the exasperated side from Nick when I'm like, hey, I have an idea.
JD, can you throw up the link to the submission form again for Lars, man, if you don't mind? And there
Did we get the link to Robbie's show?
Yes, he did throw up the link.
Thank you,
But
JD.
if you get a chance again, JD, if you don't mind throwing that up, just remind everybody we'll be back with Comic Collectibles on Wednesday, 6 to 8 Eastern. Original art on Fridays with Nick, and I don't know if John's going to be here this Friday or not.
Depends how original the art is.
It depends on how he feels. He might have another impending vacation emergency. But we'll have original art from 7 to 8 Eastern on Friday night. Be sure to check out Robbie's channel for all the great content he's constantly loading up. And he's doing his movie review tonight. Beastmaster, I believe, is the movie of choice.
Mark Singer masterpiece.
Dude, I actually
agree.
went to the movie theater, took a date. There was no second date. And
don't
also
blame Mark Singer.
I'm blaming Mark Singer all day long. And of course, on the experience tonight, we have Mishmash with Jen King. Always a great show.
That's right, after
great
this,
stuff.
right?
I believe after this, yes.
Oh, so business is definitely going to pick up.
So thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you for your support. We'll be taking resumes later for anybody that wants to join me as my co-host on the Comic Collectibles show.
Stay tuned for something way
you're still
better
here,
than
John.
you just
I'm sorry.
watched.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were still here. I guess you could hear me. But let's see. Stevie B, if the meatloaf is half as good as the statue, my day is golden. I didn't get to try none of it, Stevie B. So I'll expect you at my house in a couple of hours. You know, with my
There's this image everyone has of you now, almost like Rorschach in The Watchmen, where you've got like a can of prepped food, but it's passed to you're eating it anyway, and there's never any sort of fresh food for you.
You know what? I might want some hamburger helper.
Some beef stroganoff.
Now that I'm thinking about it,
That sound he hears his daughter
you
running
gotta
down
love
the driveway.
You gotta love that sauce when it's all comes in powder, and you have to add the milk. That's how we roll here, baby.
Oh man.
All right. So listen, everybody, again, thank you so much for joining us. Join us again later in the week.
Yeah, glad
Check
you guys
out
were able
Robbie.
to pick up some books tonight.
Absolutely. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Robbie.